Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the For Every Beautiful Body YouTube series. Today, we are joined by Vandalia. Vandalia Bryant-Scott proudly holds the title of Ms. Florida Galaxy. As a passionate advocate for body positivity, she competes as her most authentic and beautiful self, celebrating every curve, every strength, and the confidence that comes from within. Hi, Vandalia, how are you today?
Hello, I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course,
Having me.
we're very excited to have you. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on and share a little bit about yourself and your journey. So, just first for our guests, can you tell us and elaborate a bit more about yourself?
Of course. So I am Miss Florida Galaxy. I am, wow. This is my third time competing at Galaxy International pageants, but once again, I believe in competing as my true, authentic, beautiful self. Confidence shines through. Confidence is beauty in my eyes. So, just getting on that stage and rocking it is what I love to do. And that's why you'll always see me coming back to Galaxy because that is what they um, emphasize. They emphasize that beauty, they emphasize that cultural appreciation, and they want you to see or they want you to be that confident self that you are. And that's what they look for in their queen. So, regional, state, country, queens, delegates, I should say, we're all accepted at Galaxy, and you will always see me there. So, that
Amazing.
is my story.
Yes, no, it's so amazing. And it truly shows that you do love the system as well, coming back so many times and you always feel really accepted, which I did too. So it's so exciting that we get to connect on that journey together and can't wait to see
Yeah,
each other in like 2 months. I'm so excited.
I know. I'm super excited to see you again.
Yeah. So for our guests, we talk a lot about mental health and bullying and body image on For Every Beautiful Body. Have you ever personally struggled with your body image and did that affect your self-love or self-esteem at all?
Yes, so I for sure have struggled with body image, especially growing up. I grew up with constant images in the media of what a beautiful woman should look like. And unfortunately, I didn't grow up in the age of inclusivity. So the only person that I could relate to in the media was Raven Simone. And I did actually receive a gag gift. I'm going to call it a gag gift because it was hip hop abs. I'm not sure if you're aware of hip hop abs, but it's basically a workout video of a guy dancing to get abs. And I just thought, who would give this to someone, you know? So it was a complete shot to my self esteem and just always had me thinking, like, am I fat? Am I good enough to achieve the goals I wanted to achieve, such as acting and being a beauty queen? But then I remember Raven Simone, and I was like, oh, if she can do it, then so can I. So I started realizing that if I wanted to be a role model like she is for me, that I can't let a gag gift or, my negative self doubts stop me from standing out in a place that wants you to like kind of fit in?
Yeah, no, for sure. And that is so beautiful that you've kind of come to that realization and self-worth and self-love now. And I 100% know, especially within this interview and so many different things and the impact that you're making, that at least for one person or even multiple people, you would be that representation for them as well. So I think
Thank
that's,
you.
of course, no, you do such amazing work and seeing that is your message and how you found shining a light on your own self-love. I definitely think you sharing your story makes a big impact as well. So thank you so much for that. So apart from that one kind of figure that you had to look up to, was there anything else that kind of helped you to learn, accept, and then love your body, and even like on the hard days?
Oh, for sure. So, what helped me learn to love my body was appreciating what it can do rather than what it looked like. So, for example, I have cellulite. I've always had it, and it's okay, but that doesn't mean I can't squat the 150 pounds that I can. I have thick thighs, but there's muscle under it. So once again, what my body can do rather than what it looks like. And I also have learned to realize that what we see in social media always isn't the truth, right? It's filtered, it's edited, but I learn or I follow people on social media that promote body positivity and realness and showing that beauty is actually one size fits all because every size is beautiful. There's no one size that's like, oh yeah, that's beauty. That is the beauty standard. So just following those people that promote body positivity and also just realizing who I am and what I can do with my own body has helped me learn to love my body, honestly, love it and just praise it. I like to say I'm very blessed. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think that's such a beautiful way of thinking too, because there's so many stages of life that we go through and so many different things that our body learns to adapt and, motherhood and all those sorts of things. Like our body can do so many amazing things. And I think lots of representation in the media is getting stuck on those, little things that of how your body looks like. But I don't think enough times we sit back and actually appreciate everything that it's so wonderful for as well. So
Yeah.
that was amazing. You touched on it a little bit about the social media side of things. Is social media, do you think, what are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? How did it potentially help you or disadvantage you in your like body image journey? Give us a little overview on your thoughts and advice on social media when dealing with those kind of struggles.
Yes. So let's say this because it's true. Social media is great at when it comes to connecting, right? I don't think we would have been able to connect if it wasn't without social media. If it wasn't without, yeah, if it wasn't without social media.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I said it and then it didn't make sense to my in my head. But when it comes to beauty standards, once again, it's edited, it's filtered. We're not really seeing this authentic self that people like to believe we are. Um, and so it's really, what's the word I'm looking for? It can have a negative impact.
Hmm.
It can. And we're seeing people live their best lives, but that's not their best lives every day. Nobody's posting the negatives in their lives. They're always posting the highlights. And so it just when it comes to self-esteem as well as body image, it's like, you know, why am I at a loss for words right now? I I had it and then I lost it.
You're fine. You covered it before. Like it's the negative impact of comparing yourself, but then the also
Yes.
positive impact of having those role models to also look up to that are creating that representation. I get we all know where you're coming from, girl. Don't stress.
Yes.
We get
Thank you.
you're fine.
I
It
don't know what
happens.
happened.
It happens. So with your galaxy journey and your personal journey and platform, how do you think that you're creating that representation for yourself and showing up for yourself in the most authentic way, but also being that role model and that figure for others to look up to? Is there a certain type of way that you like to portray, or is there a certain initiative or platform that you're creating? Tell us a little bit about that side.
Yes. So it's all about how you feel. Beauty is about all how you feel, honestly and truthfully. What you see in the media is unrealistic. It is not real. It's just filtered. And I like to say I compete as my most authentic self because the only thing that you're going to find fake on me, I should say, would be my lashes and my hair. Um, I like to say that if I were to win the title of Miss Galaxy International 2026, that I did it being my most natural, authentic self. I didn't uh, fall under the pressure of the beauty standards. So that is my journey. That is what I believe in. I believe in being confident on that stage. I believe in being who you truly are and not pretending to be someone else. Um, what does Australia Galaxy Pageant say? What's their
Be
line? I
the best
can't
version of
remember.
yourself.
Be the best version of yourself. Be strong, be confident, be you. Be beautiful. Yeah,
I like that.
beautiful.
I like
Yes,
that a lot. Yeah, I think one of my favorite sayings personally that I think really sums up what you were saying before is that social media is a highlight reel. I think that's the perfect way to describe it. It's literally
perfect word.
highlights from people's lives. You don't actually get to see the full picture. Do people wake up in the morning and then film themselves like brushing their teeth? No. Do they post when they're on a holiday? Yes. So I think there's so many things that we fixate on that gets us really bogged down sometimes in our mental health and bullying and body image issues that we really need
Mhm.
to remember that it is a highlight reel and it is such a used saying, but it's actually depicting it and kind of dissecting it to actually believe that at the same time. Yeah.
Yes, because social media also, if you look at it, the highlights of people's lives, you're seeing that, oh, I just, secured a house. I just got a car. But you're not seeing how long it took them to get that house, how long it took them to get that car. But also being 30, sometimes I thought I was behind in life because I saw my friends getting married, buying houses, having a baby. So it's like, what am I doing wrong? But it's not what you're doing wrong, and it's not what you're doing right either. It's just everyone has a certain path in life, and they have to be on this path at their own pace. So I think social media can also be negative to not only your body image and beauty standards, but your mental health too, because you're like, oh no, am I not good enough? Oh no, am I behind in life? So
Yeah.
it's positive, but it's also negative too.
It definitely does create a false narrative. But as you said, like there's so many positives to it because that is where you kind of found your role model to look up to. That is why we are
Mhm.
connecting today and getting to have these open and honest conversations for people to watch to make them feel better and less alone. So there's so many positives to it. And I think one of the biggest things that I say here and throughout my journey as well is it's all about knowing where to find the resources and just unfollowing all the negative stuff. That's my biggest piece of advice. But for our last little segment today, what would be your biggest piece of advice for somebody that doesn't feel like they fit the beauty standard or is going through those similar things that you had when you were going through your own journey?
So I have here actually the definition of beauty. So I'm going to share the definition of beauty, and that is a combination of qualities such as shape, color, or form that pleases the aesthetic senses, especially sight. So it doesn't mention a certain shape, it doesn't mention a certain color or form. It's literally real beauty just comes in all shapes, all sizes, all forms. And my advice to someone who is struggling with body image is what you see, what this beauty standard is unrealistic. It's made up. It changes so often throughout history. And it's funny because I love Marilyn Monroe, and everybody's like, oh, Marilyn Monroe was a size 12. She was curvy, let me say that. But in today's world, she would be a size 8. And I'm just all like, I love that, but unfortunately, we don't see that size in the media today. We don't see anybody really over a size 4. So, it's filtered. It's not realistic. It's not really the standard. It's made up. So, as long as you're yourself and you're confident, you're strong. Beauty comes from within, not what's on the outside. Everyone's beautiful, and that is my advice to them.
Thank you so much for sharing your journey, your advice, every little bits and pieces for our guests. I know that everyone watching will feel really touched, and the goal is to feel less alone. And I feel like that's a big part of why we do this. And I just really appreciate you coming on today and sharing your knowledge and wisdom with everybody. But before we go, make sure, can you tell everybody where they can find you?
Oh, where you can find me. Um, I would say at Disney, but I know that's not what you meant. You
For
can
Disney.
Disney, but no, you can find me at my Instagram, which is Miss Period Florida Galaxy altogether, and my Facebook, which is my name of Vandalia Bryant-Scott. I would say my personal page on Instagram, but you're gonna get nothing but Disney videos and posts, okay, guys? So, Miss Florida Galaxy and my Facebook, Vandalia Bryan Scott.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Vandalia, for jumping on today. It's been a pleasure having you, and we can't wait to see the rest of your journey.